back to Sorare Sunday, and we're looking at the week from the 27th of October to the 2nd of November. Let's have a look at how we did this week. Okay, so going back to the last weekend, which was the 24th to 28th, and we did all right, to be fair. We didn't get any money, apart from some hot streaks, but we got 2,700 essence, which was split between 100 rare essence and 2,600 even limited essence, with a few boosts from our vaults. Probably the best playing team we got was our Spurs team for Premier League. We got 500 essence from the Premier League and a hot streak. Mickey van der Ven was a player I picked up with the money I won last week. So very glad I did, because he ended up getting a brace, 2 goals, and scoring 100. Vicario doing really well, getting a clean sheet. And Bentancur getting an assist. This is kind of the team that I've got so far, because if you look at Spurs, they don't really have a striker, apart from maybe Richarlison, but he doesn't play very regularly. So I'm a little bit unsure if like when Solanke comes back, I think he will be the person who plays there. Kudus is good, but just not very consistent, unfortunately. So yeah, that Spurs team is doing all right, and hopefully will continue to do all right for me. Everton played Spurs and did quite poorly, so that team didn't do great. The Crystal Palace lost 1-0 against Arsenal, so the Crystal Palace stack did quite poorly. And then United 1-4-2, and I did okay, but the players which I had picked weren't the ones. Like, if I had Mbeumo, it would have been way better. But Šeško getting an assist is great. He definitely seems to be getting a better output than strikers previously for United. He's definitely growing into the role, so it's good to see. And Fernandes getting a good score is kind of what you would expect, 68, but it's quite low really for him. But yeah, overall it was an okay team, but I think going forward, United hopefully will be out of this rut that they were in, and we should be seeing some good scores from these sort of players. Then Ligue 1, we got 250 essence from our Le Havre stack. And actually, I don't think we had the goal scorer, did we, in our stack? No, but Seko getting a 77 and Diao getting a 78 because of the clean sheet. So yeah, overall came out 800th, not bad. Toulalu stack didn't do as well, but we'll just have to keep going, because they seem to be an up and down team. They seem to do really well one week and then not that well next week. I mean, they were playing Monaco, which is a really hard game, but yeah, they seem to be a very inconsistent team, but I quite like them, so we'll keep going with them. Who are these guys again? These are Espanyol, aren't they? Yeah. Our Espanyol stack did quite well, to be fair. 250 again. Essence, Exposito, and Romero doing really well, with Dimitrovic getting a clean sheet. They won 1-0. It is against a team which I think was newly promoted. It's kind of expected that they would win, and only 1-0 isn't great. I have decided that I'm going to try and get. I got an out of seat, a classic Rashford, and I'm going to be playing a classic Rashford instead of like this extra player here, because it seems like having a stack of just Espanyol, they don't really have much going forward. So I think it'd probably be better to do it that way. Levante are quite hard to figure out a starting lineup at the moment. They keep changing, especially their strikers and like forward line. So didn't really get much from there. We got our 100 rare essence from our Juniper League, Jupiler League stack with Zolt Wagram, and yeah, they got a 1-1 draw. It wasn't great, but it's one of those weeks where it's like you get a little something, but they didn't perform that well, so you're not going to get a lot. Hopefully they're going to have another couple of really good results soon, and we'll see more from them. Although I think Ehrenberg is injured for a little bit now, so I've had to swap him out for another midfielder. So we'll just have to see how that plays out. But we did get 250 essence from this a KV Michelin stack, which did very well. Our defender Kudu getting a goal, Lion Laubach getting an assist, and then everyone else is kind of getting the high end of their scores, like 50s and 60s, which is good. This team seems to be St. Trudence just seems to not. I picked them up thinking that they were going to be quite good this season, and they're really not, which is a bit disappointing. So I'm not really sure. I'm going to keep them and keep playing them and see how it goes. But yeah, they're struggling a little bit for sure. They are against league. They were against the league leaders. I think it was all like second place. So it's going to be a hard game. I understand that, but yeah, they haven't really performed that well recently. So going down to Eredivisie, and our Ajax team is the one which got the limited essence. PSV Feyenoord was always going to be a really tricky game for Feyenoord. It's annoying that their home game that they lost. It means that they were first. They're going to be struggling to keep that position off PSV. They just seem to be a bit of a powerhouse at the moment, PSV. But we did all right. We didn't do too badly. Hopefully this weekend we've got Volendam, I think it is, and they're quite low in the league. I think it's absolutely thrash them to get us back in our confidence and try and get back into the run of form that we were in. Ajax are so hard to predict what's going on. I mean, look at that score against Twente. It's 3-2 against them and barely scraping by is not like what Ajax of old have done, but they just seem to be a shell of their former selves. So hopefully they're gonna find some sort of form and some sort of regular starting lineup, because it's really hard to predict what they're going to be playing. And then Excelsior Rotterdam didn't do that great against Go Ahead Eagles. Go Ahead Eagles are doing really well at the moment. They beat Villa in Europe, so it's one of those games which you're going to take the L and then move on, and hopefully they'll pick up a good win this weekend instead. Challenger, we got the streak, and then we got 100 essence from our transport. I really love this stack, the transport stack. They're such a fun one to play. So yeah, I'm really enjoying playing those ones with Anana being an absolute beast, and you've got like Onanachu, who's quite a cool like forward, who's like big man who can get like a lot of goals, but also Augusto, who's like this young Brazilian, I think like winger. So yeah, and then you've also got Jabal Folcarelli, I think it's how you say his name. But he's like a midfield maestro, and Savic is like an absolute bruiser. Just like a lot of players who are really, really fun players to have in the collection. So yeah, I'm enjoying that stack. Rapid have dropped their keeper, so I've managed to pick up a classic of their other keeper really cheap. He's like £2. So next game, hopefully, I'll be able to have a full stack of these guys. But yeah, them dropping their keeper, I wasn't expecting. I don't know if many others were. So that was quite a difficult one. Meant that we didn't get anything from that game, even though they won 2-0. And Austria Vienna played first place RB Salzburg, and so they had a very poor week, but hopefully again pick themselves up, move on. The one team which usually has a terrible week for me but didn't was Hibs. They got 100 essence for me, and this Kilja, I think it's that Thibault Kilja. I'm not sure how you say his name. He's actually doing all right recently for Hibs. He seems to be like their number one striker at the moment. He's scoring as well, so he's a pretty good player, young striker. Probably will have the problem of him going off to AFCON in the new year, but I'm sure they'll have to just deal with that. They've still got their Aussie striker. I can't remember his name now. It begins with a muck, but yeah, they've still got their Aussie striker that they can bring on. He's like the old guy, and Josh Mulligan doing all right as well, getting an assist. He's one of their new signings, so looks like he's doing quite well. Then we move down to Contender. Man, this one's taken a long time to go through. We're gonna whiz through a little bit. Our Contender stack, our rare one that we've put together, didn't do great, but I have faith that if we keep plodding along with this, we might get a little bit of essence and stuff from it. In terms of our Schalke stack. They didn't get anything this time round. They did quite well in terms of score. We probably want to try and move up to first division with this team. Because if we get up to first division, then I think it'll be easier for us to get some good score and get some good rewards from it. But we'll see how that goes. And then we did just put some random ones together in this one, and we got 100 essence from this one. With Lewis Miller for Blackburn getting a 95, Yamashita getting a goal and a 64, Park getting a clean sheet and a 64. So yeah, the other two not doing great, but that was enough to get us 100 essence. And then I've got a kind of throw together Stad Rennes Reims stack, and they got 0-0, so it was like an all right score, but like they're one of the, I think they're newly relegated teams, so I think they're definitely looking at promotion this season. So they're gonna be pushing for the rest of the season for win sort of thing. So hopefully we'll see that. Got a really young keeper, which will be a good one to hold for the future as well. So yeah. And then we did really well in Champion. We've got 500 and 250 here. Soboslai probably the most standout, but one to mention is Matty Cash and Hartman, actually, to two defenders, which I picked up really cheap because I thought it's nice to have some Premier League defenders. And they both have been fantastic this season. Two defenders definitely to keep an eye on, and maybe think about picking up if you're doing like a random Premier League stack. Matty Cash has been great internationally and for his club. And Quincy, that's not Quincy, is it? But Hartman, I'll call him Quincy. Hartman is definitely like one of the bright sparks for Burnley, and probably might be one of the reasons why they're doing as well, because having that kind of delivery on the wing is a great thing for a team to, like that's maybe got like a big man in the middle or something like that. I haven't watched many Burnley games, so maybe I've got it wrong. But from what I'm getting from like the scores and that, is that he's good at getting those assists like from the wing. So definitely one to keep an eye on. I did have an under 23s, but I think it was Xavi Simons. I'm thinking of trade. Xavi Simons has had a terrible start with Tottenham, so I'm trying to trade him away for some other cards, which I would think would be better utility for me. But yeah, I've got him for now. I haven't been able to trade him away for anyone who I want just yet. I've had some pretty trash offers for him, but yeah, I'm looking at like maybe some more La Liga players or something like that who get regularly good scores and stuff. And then in All Star, we only got 100 limited essence here. Messi, obviously, but our highest score was Pep Chavariera for Real Valenciano, getting 100 and an assist. Played very well. He's an interesting one. He kind of pops up with a really high score and then disappears, but we'll see. They're the same team where it's like really inconsistent. I just noticed we also got 100 essence here. Devlin probably and Burgess, the two top scorers for us there. So yeah, that's that weekend. Moving on to the midweek, and actually we did fairly well midweek. Our Le Havre again. Le Havre is kind of a sleeper stack, like not too bad. 773 essence from this stack here. Sangante getting a goal and a 92, another clean sheet, and Seko getting quite a high score as well. Touloulou again not doing that great with a 2-2 against Rennes, and a terrible score for the defender. There's another defender which I can't afford but I really want, called he's an English dude, Charlie someone. And yeah, I really wanted to pick him up, but he's just like 30 quid, and I'm not spending that on this stack really. I think this whole stack costs less than 30 quid, so I'm not gonna throw 30 quid at one defender at the moment. And then overall, we didn't really get a lot else apart from this 100 essence here for this Stade Rennes, including New York player Andres Pereira getting is it a goal? Yeah, no, an assist. And then the rest of them, it was 6-2. So a lot of goals, not great defending, and we didn't have any of the scorers apart from Nakamura, which is a bit annoying. But overall, not a terrible day for that All-Star team. It was all right. And this All-Star team didn't do terrible, to be honest. We're only 8 points away from reward. Uh, Alpha Joe Cisse, I'm not sure how you say his first name, but Cisse is a young midfielder. He's only 18 this season, and he's playing regularly and playing very well. So if you're looking for a player to pick up in kind of under 23s, keep an eye out for him. I don't know how much he's going to cost now because he's definitely his score is raising, but he's a very good player. So that's how we did this week. That was, sorry, I probably spent a bit too long on that. But let's go on to have a look at a player to watch. Okay, so my player to watch is Emu Seko, who plays for Le Havre, and as you've seen in my overview of like how we did last week, he's done very well last couple of games. He does have the opportunity of playing quite poorly against some big teams, but what I find really interesting about him is he's a defender that's being moved into a defensive midfield kind of role. So he's more of like a midfielder, and he seems to really flourish off that role. He definitely seems to be enjoying that kind of freedom of being able to play just in front of the defense. As you can see with his scores, like he's getting higher scores more than not, and obviously at the start of the season, it's the first time he's played in that sort of role from the looks of it, maybe, and he's getting used to it, but he seems to have found his feet in that role. So really interesting. I just think it's interesting because you can play a defender who is actually playing in midfield. So then it gives you a bit more utility on, like, he might get more assists, he might get more goals in the future. He's also getting higher scores because he's getting more passes, getting more maybe blocks and tackles because he's that first line of defence. So I think that he's an interesting one, and I do enjoy trying to find those players who are playing out of position, so you can play almost like a midfielder who's actually a striker and things like that. So yeah, the card itself is a defender, but he's definitely playing a more midfield role, and I just think he's one to keep an eye on for this season to see how that works for him. It might flop, but at the moment it looks like it's starting to show like rewards, and he's definitely enjoying that role. He also plays internationally, plays for Japan, not regularly. He seems to be a bit more of like a on and off player for Japan. He'll be brought on, or he'll be starting on a game where it's like a little bit of their main players rested, sort of like second team sort of thing. But he does play. So if you're looking international week as well, Japan, he does play for them as well. So overall, a fairly decent player. He doesn't get massive decisive actions. That's the only thing which I would say is the drawback. He is like on the market though for in season £2-3. I mean, it does go up quite steeply after the first £2, but like £4-5 overall for a League player who looks like he might be quite adept at his new role and like enjoying it. He's worth a shout. So that's my player to watch. He's a little bit of a risk, but definitely one to keep an eye on for the future maybe as well, because if he does well in that role, a lot of people are looking for a good defensive midfielder. He might stay at Le Havre. He might also get picked up by another team thinking we need that sort of role, and he seems to fit it very well, and he can play in other positions. So yeah, that's my player to watch. And we're now going to back for probably just this video, spin the wheel, because we've managed to pick up 4 tickets from winning some auctions, and so we're going to use those tickets to spin the wheel. So let's do this.
Go spin the wheel and see where it lands.
I started talking about spinning the wheel before I did the intro, so I probably put the intro in between. So here we go. We've got 4 spins. Let's see what we get. We have been getting a few spins recently. Oh, wonderful. 25. That's beautiful. And we've been getting mainly clues. So we've got quite a lot of clues built up now. We're getting quite a lot of market credit as well. So as you can see, another clue. So country clues, we've got loads. Competition clues, we've not got as many, but we've got some, and we've got loads of the potion clues. So we're definitely ready for a good clue crafting sesh when we need them. Getting a little bit of essence here and there, but the money off we've been getting loads of as well, which is why I've been able to do the auctions. I've like been picking up £3 players for £1.50 and stuff like that. So, and some more clues. They're definitely pushing clues more than they were before. So that's our wheel. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's not much we had to go by, but it was a little. And we're now going to go on to doing some crafting. All right, so we still have the Halloween special craft happening. We've got 6,000 limited essence, so and definitely enough for 2 crafts, I would say. We've got 30 reveal nationality clues. We've got 52 reveal league clues, and we've got 49 cursed potion clues. I think we're going to use the cursed potion whatever for our first one, just because we've got so many. We want to use them, don't we? The nationality and reveal league will save for like important ones. And in terms of rare, we've only got 500, so we're going to be a little while away from getting a rare craft again, depending on how well we do this week, I suppose. So let's do our first limited craft. It's going to be standard, but it's only 5 clues, and we've got something like 40 odd. So we're going to do a cursed. There's 66.6% of top 5 and 33.3% of worst 5. So this could work out, this could not, but let's do it. So yeah, we'll have plenty left after. The 5 worst have been removed. Amazing. So we're hopefully in for a good one anyway. I think going straight down the middle seems like I think we did that last time. Should we go? Let's go to the right. Let's go. Oh, which one? I don't like going right in the end, but also let's go right in the end. Let's do this one. Let's just go for it. Oh no, no! I don't know who he is, but that's not. Okay, so we missed out on a very good player for. Is that Bundesliga? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, actually, to be fair, we missed out on someone who gets brought on as an impact sub, so I'm not so brokenhearted about that one. Tamari I had last season, and he was smashing in the goals. He got signed by Rennes and then just lost all form. So I think he's one which I'm not too sad about not getting. So actually, a 26-year-old Scottish forward for, is that Falkirk? Yeah. He looks like he plays, and he looks like he scores a little bit as well. He scored against, is that Hibs? How dare he? Ross McCavler. Okay, so not a terrible one to start off with. He's got some use for us. So welcome, Ross. We're going to do another limited craft, and hopefully we'll get something decent. Just a standard. We're going for another cursed. And hopefully, it'll be another lucky one. 5 worst have been removed. Amazing. I'm tempted just to do like league, so I can at least see what we're going for. Just because I'd only do crafts, and actually it's a little bit of a lie because I did do one craft last week without being on video. But I do usually only do crafts on video. So like when you see these, this is like the only crafts that I'm doing usually. So I think, how many do I have? I've got 52, so I'd still have 42 left over. So let's do a league reveal. So we've got Ligue 1, 2 of them. We've got Premier League, and we've got La Liga and Austrian League. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to use nationality as well. We've still got 20 left. So we've got Spanish La Liga. Oh, hang about. Is that Szoboszlai? I think there's only one Hungarian player in the Premier League. Okay, I'm wrong. There are 3 Hungarian players in the league, all for Liverpool. One is a goalkeeper who obviously doesn't play. and 2 are starters, Kirkes and Sloboslai. I can never say that guy's name. Um, so that seems like the less risky choice. La Liga Spain could be someone like Lamine Yamal, could be someone completely useless. Uh, Again, with France Ligue 1, it could be a really good player. It could also be just a trash player. I think we've got to go for this one. If I miss out on a Yamal, that would be super frustrating, but it's too much of a risk. We're going this one. Oh, it was the goalkeeper. He's a 3-star? How is he a 3-star? I mean, he's 20 years old, so he's got youth about him. Who is this guy? French forward. He would have been fine. Not. To be fair, Brian Hill is a shadow of his former self since he got signed by Spurs, and he's obviously out on loan or he's just moved permanently. I can't remember, but he's not one. I'm glad I didn't go for that one because I wouldn't have used him. Very glad I didn't go for that one. Keeper, which just doesn't play. Yeah, overall, it's not terrible. It's terrible. It's really not usable. What a terrible round of crafting. We're going to quickly have a look at our players that we crafted, and then we'll move on to NBA. Okay, so our first craft was Ross McCavler. Mavler? However you say, I think it's Mackler. McCavler. And actually, he's a young-ish, 26, still got plenty of years left in him. He starts fairly regularly. He's got 2 goals and assists in his first, 10 games-ish of the season. He's worth, well, how much is he actually worth? How much are people selling him for? £2, £3? So he's worth, a fair mint. I think Falkirk aren't doing great in the league, though. Yeah, they are struggling. So he's not gonna be an amazing player going forward for top of the league, scoring loads of goals sort of player. But he definitely is one which you can play as a forward in the Scottish League. I mean, that's what's that? Challenger, yeah. So you can play him as a forward in Challenger. Maybe all of our players have got really low percentage and he doesn't. He could potentially be swapped in. So yeah, he's not a terrible craft. He's probably the best craft we've had today. And he's one that I could use. Potentially, if not, I could put him in the vault. But I think overall I can use him through the season, so I probably won't. But yeah, let's look at our next card. All right, the next card we have is Armin Pexi. I think it's how you say his name. 20-year-old Hungarian goalkeeper in the Liverpool ranks. Never plays. Oh, I say he never plays. Who did he play? So they signed him. What was this? 2024. So they signed him literally over the summer break of this season from Puskás Ferenc Academia FC. So it looks like a Hungarian academy team. Because Puskás is a Hungarian player in the year. He's not. I mean, why people are paying this much for him, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's a cheap instant buy and they want to get the tickets. That's why people are picking him up at auction and instant buy. But yeah, he's not a fantastic card to pick up. He's definitely one for the vault, I think. Hopefully next season he will be loaned out, or I doubt he'll get a chance within this Liverpool team. You've got Alisson and Mamardashvili. I don't think that you can see a world where he gets any game time. So yeah, he's like a £2, £5 player, like £2 to £5, depending on if these ones sell. And then, I mean, he's very young, so you keep hold of him. Maybe in the vault for 2 seasons, he might start popping up for another team on loan from Liverpool. and then start getting more time like playing then. I'm really frustrated that the Hungarian player we picked up was the one Hungarian player that doesn't play. The other two would have been like top tier. They would have been like 5 tier or star tier, and it's so annoying that we didn't get them. But that is the Sorare life. If you got good crafts every time, it just wouldn't feel special when you did get a good craft. So yeah, he's probably going in my vault, unfortunately, but he's one that I'll hold on to because you never know. Some of these players that you hold on to in a year or two's time, like if you played a long game, that A could be worth loads of money because people are trying to pick them up even in classic cards to play them in like a stack for Premier League, La Liga, wherever it is that they get loaned off to or start playing. And then also, you've got like that utility of a player that you haven't had to pay for and stuff like that. It's a craft, so I don't know. He's definitely definitely a player which could have something special happen in the future. I don't see anything in the close future, so chuck him in the vault and we're all good. Before we move on from crafting, I did mention I did a midweek craft. I was feeling really bored. There was not a lot happening in Sorare, so I was like, let's have a little craft just because I had some extra essence, and I was like, you know what, it's probably going to be a nothing card, but I just want to do it. And then I got Starcraft, and I used some clues, and I got the star. So let's have a look at the star that we got. And I picked up Antonio Nusa in the Starcraft. So he looks like he's doing very well this season. I did actually, I think it was either craft or one through like the buy one and get a free card promos last season, a Nusa. But he was so on and off that I ended up trading him because he wasn't like consistent enough for me. Hopefully this season he's gonna found a little bit more consistency. I'm not completely convinced by the start of this season and his scores. He definitely plays for his country and plays well though. Looking at that, 2 assists against Israel and an 89, and a goal and assist against Italy and an 88. I mean, Estonia can be ignored, but that's pretty decent, isn't it? So yeah, and he's then got a goal and assist in the last 2 games that he's played. I think RB Leipzig are second in the league as well at the moment. So I've tried to build a little bit of a Bundesliga stack around him of just random players, not like one team. I would like to try and get an RB Leipzig stack, but some of their players are so expensive, and I'm not spending money on them at the moment. I don't want to be like chucking too much more in, so he's gonna be our star that we kind of build it around. We did pick up a classic Gillespie, the RB Leipzig, keeper. And so we do have a couple of players from RB Leipzig, but like the strikers and that are way too out of our price range at the moment, so we don't. But yeah, that was a really good craft. A bit annoying that I didn't record it or anything like that, but it's always the way, isn't it? The one that you don't record is the one that's so good. But we're now going to move on and have a look at NBA. Okay, and for NBA, we've done okay. We've not done great. I think from compared to last year, the level that you have to reach in terms of score is a lot harder than it was before. I think like it's quite hard to get the NBA like rewards that I got last season. Last season I got quite a lot of rewards for not a lot of players brought in, whereas this season I've brought in probably about the same to maybe a little bit more, and it's harder to pick up rewards. I think maybe as the season goes on, and we're crafting players, we're figuring out which players are playing well, which aren't, and things like that. Like AJ Mitchell, he's been predicted to get a score of 10 every game, and he's been getting 30s and stuff like that. So like, there's players which you'll start to realize maybe the prediction score isn't quite right, or maybe there's and things like that. Like this team here, because it's in champion, like damn, that's a high score in my opinion, 179, and we didn't even get a single reward. Like, so it's a high level you have to reach to get anything from this, and we're never going to be able to challenge for the people who've got like Wemby and Giannis and people like that. So I think champion, I might have to rethink what competitions I go into. I've got contender one, and that's where I got my essence. I think maybe I move one of my stacks from champion. I'm going to keep a stack in champion, but I'm going to move maybe like my Raptors down into contender and see if they do any better in that, because it's definitely another level up here. Like this is another level for me to try and do anything with. I mean, there's less people compared to football, but I feel like the people that are involved are way more willing to put in the big money and get those cards so they can play some incredible like stacks. Whereas this like has the contender has the caveat of you have a limit of what's it called like score that you can put in. So like you can't just put in all of the best players, otherwise you're gonna have to play some really trash like players to replace them. So like you may play like one who's at like a 60, but then you have to play like a 10 and a 0 to enable to get them to fit into the cap. And then in terms of classic, we're not getting anything at the moment, but we continue to persevere. I think classic is just going to be a little bit fun to put in. And then in terms of, so we got 100 essence in the midweek, and that was from this contender, which we've already said. And do you know what? We're getting scores for a rare, and we're getting close-ish. So I'm just going to keep playing them, and then 1 or 2 weeks every now and then we're going to get lucky and get a little bit of a rare essence, and then hopefully by the end of the season we'll at least have 1 or 2 crafts from that. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then in terms of like the limited challenger, like it's just I mean, I wasn't very lucky with Jacob Poetel getting dropped or injured and just getting no score, and Naismith having a terrible game. So, and Towns as well actually had a terrible game. So like that just really didn't play well for getting anything there. And I think is this over the weekend? I think it is. I think we can count this. And we got 100 limited essence again, and it was again, I think, in contender. Yeah, so contender seems to be where we pick up the most points, and pick up the we came like 1,000th, whereas here we came 2,000th basically, and it's just difficult to get anything in that sort of like area. So I think we definitely need to reconsider how we're doing NBA. Let me know what your plan is with NBA, how you're playing it, what you're doing, because it's definitely different to how I would play last season. And I don't know if I did it right the last season. So maybe I need to kind of readjust my tactics and what I'm thinking of doing with the NBA sort of side of things. In the dailies, we have only one common essence because we've just been using whatever's left in terms of our limited people. I mean, 31 off away from rewards isn't terrible. Like, we got score from each player, and it was above 10 for each one. So I take that as a win. But yeah, it's not going to challenge for people who are playing a lot of the big boys in their dailies as well. So yeah, overall, I think that was the closest we came, 8 points, because we had Ja and Austin Reeves. And yeah, I think we just kind of, these three let us down in terms of getting anything towards a reward. But like you can see, we're getting a little bit of essence from the common one, which I really don't care about that much. And then we're getting this one, actually, no, we did do a little bit better. We got 250 XP from this team here. Reeves is having an absolute outstanding start to the season. In the absence of LeBron and that, he seems to be picking up a lot of the points that would have been missed. So yeah, that's how we're doing in NBA. Any advice would be great, because I feel like I'm definitely a lot less knowledgeable in this side of things. I'm still learning about NBA. I really enjoy it, but I'm by no means an expert. I'm never going to be doing a player to watch for NBA because I'm just not that sure, and I'm not doing it well myself. So why would I be advising on things like that? But we do have enough for one craft, so I think we're going to go for it. We've got 18 clues and 12 of the best 5. I think that means we have enough for doing one of each if we need to. Let's see what kind of craft it is first. Special T2. All cards guaranteed to be tier 2 or better. Now, I can do a best 5 because I've got enough clues for it. So let's do that. Then I can probably do position and division. But I don't know NBA, so it really doesn't make any difference. I'm going to do it because I want to get the best card I can. Oh, that doesn't mean anything to me. Right. Let's see if we can quickly find a craft guide. Okay. So I have quickly put it into CoPilot because I couldn't find a craft guide. I have one for football. I don't have one for NBA. And it's suggesting that this one is Jaden Ivey or Kobe White. Kobe White. This one is Jalen Duran or Nick Claxton, although Claxton is Atlantic, so probably not Claxton. This one is Jabari Smith or Herbert Jones. This one is Trey Jones or Jalen Green. And this one is Quickly or Quentin Grimes. So we have Quickly already, so that's a little bit of a risk. I think Ivy's doing quite well this season. I'm tempted, but then actually, when I scroll down, it does break it down. It says Jalen Ivey or Kobe White, Jalen Duran or Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson has been playing, but isn't like regular. Jabari Smith, Herbert Jones, Trey Jones, Jalen Green, Emmanuel Quickly, Quentin Grimes, streaky but has tier 2 upside, or Dennis Schroeder, veteran presence, decent L10. Oh, it's so hard. It is very hard. Which one do I pick? I think I'm going to go for getting Quickly is too much of a risk because I already have him and I feel like it would be a little bit of I want a player. I think I'm going to go for the Pistons Ivy and hope that it's him. And then Pacers Isaiah Jackson, but he doesn't play enough. I'm going to go Pistons Ivy and hope that I get that one. Chicago Bulls Kobe White looks like he might be a good shout as well. So we're going to go for this one. Okay, Ryan Rollins for the Bucks. It wasn't even any of the players that I wanted it to be. Oh boy, it was a good one though. Josh Hart, I'm really glad I didn't go for that one. So, okay, we have learned that CoPilot is not reliable for this. If anyone has crafting guides for I know there's a football one, but if you have one that's for not football, for NBA, that would be super handy where you can put in the information and it will tell you who it could be, because I need that for sure. I think the only one Zion Williamson, I think, is having a good season or start. Thompson for the Rockets is doing very well. But actually, if we look at it, I think Rollins is the best one we could have got out of that. He's young. He's doing very well. And the Bucks are a good team this season. They're definitely doing good. So we're going to have a look at his stats a little bit more. Miles Turner for the Bucks as well is one I could have got, but it looks like he's a little bit less. He's not as good as Rollins. So I think I got the best. Let me know what you think. Was that the best craft I could have got? Was Williamson probably better or Thompson better? I don't know, but I think we do. I mean, Thompson is the same age. So I was going to say we've got the side that he is a young player who's going to grow and improve, but yeah, let me know what you think. I think the one that I'm very glad I didn't go for was this one, because Josh Hart is definitely not the sort of player which I wanted to pick up for my team. So Rollins is definitely a usable player for me. So we're going to claim him. Amazing. And we're going to look at him a little bit closer to see what he's worth. how good he's been doing this season and stuff like that. Okay, so let's have a look at Ryan Rollins. I love this as well, that you with the NBA stuff you get like a breakdown analysis. Had a hot hand early for Milwaukee, scoring 9 of the first 14 points, and he stuck to the aggressive scoring mentality for the rest of the game. Giannis watching from the sidelines, crossed the 30-point mark with dang, a 3-pointer from under a minute left in relegation to seal the deal for the Bucks. Now his back-to-back career high scoring outings over the past 4, Rollins has been churning out average 21 points, 5.5 assists, 2.8 triples, and 2.5 steals per contest. Now that sounds, look at that. That's a beautiful graph, just on the incline. It might not remain like that, but if it keeps going similar scores, like keep the good times rolling. And in terms of what is he going for in terms of money wise, oh, we got a £50 card. 60 really. That's crazy. That was a very good craft. Like we did terrible with the football. We ended on a real high with the NBA. Absolutely smashed it with Ryan Rollins. That is such a great craft. I'm looking forward to using him in our like next few, like for the whole season. Basically, he's going to be a card that I hold on to for sure, and use every week, every game week without doubt. Looks like a great player. So very happy with that craft. One thing I realized we didn't look at was the new thing, which is quick play. So I did have Holgram in there, but I just realized I put him into a lineup, so it doesn't work. So you have one player, if they reach a certain amount of points above +5, above what their L10 is, I think it is, you get the first one, which is $2 off market credit. If you get 2 targets, so 2 players who reach +5, you get $5 market credit. Then if you get 3 targets, I think it's only 1 and then 2 players here. I can't remember exactly how it works, but I know it's 2 players, then 3 players, and then 3 players, 3 players. You can get 20. So it's difficult from the looks of it, and it does take a player away from your weeklies. But is it worth it? I'm not sure. There's a lot of players which I don't, which I use. So it's like I don't know who to use for this one. I think maybe he's a 17. He's only predicted an 8 though. Maybe Agbaji 25. I don't think he's going to get that, but I'll pop him in and see. Yeah, and we'll just see how that works out. Maybe I need to pick up some more NBA players before I start playing quick play. But I think that this is quite an interesting and fun new game mode. So let me know what you guys think. Are you trying out quick play? Are you going to more focus on the weekly, on the dailies? What's the area of focus for you when you're playing this game? And we're going to finish it there. It's been a fairly good video. I mean, the crafts in the football were not ideal. Like they weren't the best, but obviously midweek I crafted a star, so it kind of takes the edge off of that one a little bit. And we're doing fairly well with the weekends, with the football. With NBA, we're still trying to find our feet, still trying to figure out what sort of competitions we want to play, where we want to play players and stuff like that. But I think we're getting there in terms of that craft is going to help without a doubt. Rollins hopefully will be an absolute diamond of a player for us. And yeah, we'll just have to keep going and seeing how we go throughout the season. Things might settle a little bit. We might start to get more of a roll going as the season progresses. But yeah, thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you when I see you.